Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it Fasten Your Seatbelts because I think we are about ready to go for a pretty good ride here to the downside. All right, we're going to start off here and take a look. Well, we're going to focus on the S&P 500 today, but we're going to take a look at the side-by-side view, the industrials, the S&P, and the NASDAQ 100. And then we'll go and take a look at the S&P weekly, daily, look at the Elliott Wave picture, take a look at the SPY, which is basically mirroring everything the SPX is doing. Take a look at a couple of the indicators I look at every day, and then take a quick look at what we call the Super 8, or, when you add 1 to the Magnificent 7. Going to take a quick look at a couple of those. All right, so starting off here with the Dow Industrials. The Dow was down 387 points, so pretty good little bearish looking candle for the week, closing well below the prior week low. When you look at the S&P 500, it was down 104 points when you round it, closing below the low of the last 2 weeks. And then when you same thing over here on the NASDAQ 100, down 475 points, closing below the low of the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, we had this reversal type candle. We bounced up then the week after, and then now here we are coming down pretty hard in terms of the move to the downside in here. And you can see we had some pretty good divergence in here between this high and up into this weekly high right here. Let's go back and take a look at the S&P. All right, so here's the weekly picture we just got done talking about. Here's the daily picture. And let me just move this over a little bit. Down 23.86 on Friday. Now, this is closing below the 10-day moving average for the 3rd day in a row. Now, we don't have a moving average cross to the downside just yet. But we've got some pretty good divergence showing up on RSI, DI plus, DI minus. So yeah, there's divergence showing up in here. We're getting a little bit of a breakdown. We've got a bunch of different indicators that are giving off signals, and it's going to be an interesting week next week and next couple of weeks. Let's take a look at the Elliott Wave picture here. So here's what we've got. Let me just look at the weekly view. So we've got this double zigzag. That's what we call a WXY, a double zigzag. It morphed into a more complex zigzag corrective type pattern, got pretty deep in terms of the retracement. We got to the top of the channel, and then we've come down hard out of that throw over to the top of the channel. And here's how that picture looks when you drill down and take a closer look at it. Here's the daily view. You could see how we ducked the head above the top. We came down inside, just kind of hugged around in here, popped up here on, what was that, the 27th. Big reversal candle to the downside. And then 3 days in a row inside that trading range. And then here we are coming down out of it. So right now, this looks like the start of intermediate wave 3. Now, let me just talk about something short-term wise, what I'm watching. If we drill down and take a look at the 130-minute view, okay, right now, I'm not going to say this is the alternate. What I want to do is I'm going to move this right over here, right here, just like this. This is an alternate view that, if we turn and start breaking higher in here, it's possible that this 4th wave did something like this for an ABC. I don't like it nearly as much as what we've got going on in here, but this goes away if we come down and close below, or even just break below this high, and that is 444 on the SPY, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll show that in a minute, but here's what we're talking about, 4458.48. We break down below that. We're not that far away from that. We're 20 points away on the SPX. Let's take a look at the SPY. So let me go back over here, and weekly, daily, you're going to see the same picture. Here we go. Now, I don't have the channel drawn over here on the weekly on the SPY, but you know what I'm talking about. Here's the channel right here. Here's the WXY. Something got a little bit out of the line. There we go. That's a little better. So these numbers right here, this was a resistance zone that I had identified back up over here to wave 2 high, wave 2 of intermediate wave 1 down. And sure enough, you know, that on the 27th, is that Thursday? I think it was. Yes, that Thursday, that big reversal day down, we got right up into the middle of that resistance zone and then just came down. You know, it took a couple of days, but then here we go, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. And today we were rallying the morning session, kind of interesting, and then it just gave it up, gave up the ghost. So here's a 130-minute time frame. And so here's, you know, the first 2 hours and 10 minutes, middle of the day, and then the last 2 hours and 10 minutes came down hard. So this is what I'm watching, the overlap of wave 1, because if there's always that possibility, this could be doing some kind of bigger, funky wave 4 in here. But right now, I think it looks like we're 1-2 working our way down on the third wave, and I want to see a close below 444. Okay, so that is the picture on the SPY. That's the short-term picture that we've got. And of course, if this has really started, then we should be coming down and breaking out of this channel to the downside. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of our indicators. The first one I want to pull up here is the percent of stocks on the S&P 500 that are above their 200-day moving average. So, you know, with the rally that we had and it peaked into July, we got above the 70% level, just like we did back over here in February. And now we've rolled back down and it looks like we're getting a rollover. And you see the 10 exponential 10 breaking below the 21 simple, just like it did back over in here, just like it did right here. So I think we've got a turn that's in process. We're sitting at 61.6% of the stocks are above their 200-day moving average. And when you look at the 50-day moving average, it got much higher, as it has a tendency to do, but we're sitting at about the same level, 61.8%, and we're getting what looks like a rollover in process. And you can see how this in the past, in December, got above the 90% level. August of last year got for a couple of days, 5 days exactly, above that 90% level. And then we come down, roll over, break down. Well, it looks like we didn't quite get that far, and now it looks like we're rolling over and coming down. Okay, so that's an indication that I think the selling is starting to kick in. We'll see what kind of fall through we get this coming week. And of course, one other one, everyone looks at the VIX, everybody's following the VIX, but it closed pretty strong today, especially in the afternoon session. Matter of fact, let's just do that. Here's the morning session, here's the afternoon session, okay? I break the day like that into 195-minute minutes, cuts it right in two evenly. And, you know, it just pretty high close, the highest close since back over here on May 31st, I think it was, yes. So this is the highest daily close of the summer. And we'll see if we get the follow through, which we didn't get here, really didn't get here. I mean, couldn't get above and stay above the 20 level. We'll see what we get now. Okay, let's take a look at the a couple of the Super 8. Actually, this is the big picture I got of the Super 8. And I call it the Super 8 because I'm including Netflix in here. If you don't put Netflix in, you can call it the Magnificent 7 or whatever you want to call it. But Super 8 was kind of neat, so it kind of works. The interesting thing about the Super 8 is there's only 3 of the 8 that have broken above their prior all-time high. Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. Only one has so far stayed above that all-time high. And let's just go take a look. I'm going to go back to the home page, and first of all, let's just pull up Apple. That's one of the most recent ones. And let me go to the weekly view. And here you go. Okay, so here was the high that was achieved back in January 22 when the stock market peaked. Here's the big move down. And Apple didn't bottom until the end of the year, December 31st, not in October. Kind of interesting. And then we've broken above that prior high, and now we've closed back down below it. So I think that's pretty negative price action that just happened here in the last, primarily the last day because of their earnings picture. This is the Elliott Wave picture I've got on it. I'm saying that with this kind of price action going above that high over here, I think that we've got a flat that's underway. And it could very well be the first stages of, a bigger, a bigger corrective pattern that, of months and years. I mean, we'll just have to watch and see. But right now, I'm going to watch and see, do we get a 5-wave move down in here on a weekly? Now, do not look at this and say, oh, Joe's expecting it to go here by this time. No, this is just a placeholder. What really matters is what kind of waves do you get, just like back over in here. Then you can start projecting. But right now, this is not a projection. So, everybody's going to start like commenting, oh, expects it to go to 100 by, the end of this year. No, that's not what I'm saying. All right, so let's go back and let's take a look at Amazon. Well, not Amazon, because it didn't get above its high. I was talking about Microsoft, and then we'll take a look at NVIDIA. Now, here's Microsoft. Pretty interesting move. What was this? This is the week of July 16th, so mid-July. It burst all the way up, gets to a high, 366.78, comes back down and closes at 343.77. And it has been down the last 2 weeks, closed today, 327.80. So again, and down below the 10-week moving average. It'll be interesting to see, is this the start of a breakdown here with Microsoft? Now, NVIDIA, same kind of picture. I've been watching to see. I mean, it's held up pretty strong, but here's the level, 346.47. And right now we close 445.70. So we'll see how long it takes before that breaks down below the high. Right now, this is the only stock of the Super 8, big mega cap stocks, that is sitting above that all-time high after breaking above it. So we'll see what we get. All right, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, hit that little subscriber button. And if you'd like more information on a regular basis like this, head on over to joehenches.net, check out the website, and check out the membership. Everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you on the next video.